Hey guys, and welcome back again. So today I'm back with a video that I have wanted to film for a really long time actually. It's my 6-month postpartum kind of mummy baby update. I've had a lot of you requesting that I make these videos and I haven't actually done one yet. So I've done a few like baby essentials and like what kind of baby products I found useful since becoming a mum. I've done a few of those, but I haven't done the kind of update videos that I did do when I was pregnant. So I did them kind of semi-monthly when I was pregnant. Sometimes I film like every week in the early days, and then other times I'd go like a couple of months without making one, and I kind of just did them as and when I felt like I wanted to update you guys. And if you guys can't find these on this channel, it's because they're actually on my vlog channel, which I now upload that content on this channel. Confusing, I'm sorry. But they are over on my vlog channel, which is Fleur the Vlog. But I've had a lot of requests from you guys to film one of these, or to film these types of videos, and the reason why I haven't done it is because it's really funny. Like I was very open when I was pregnant. I felt no issues kind of sharing everything and how I was feeling. I felt like I really wanted to share it and I was really excited to share it. But when I had little one, I feel like obviously you've got so much more on your plate, so the time to like make that kind of content is less. But I also feel like I was just so consumed in new mum life and so wrapped up in it that I didn't stop and like make the time to like think about making that content. But also I felt quite private about the whole thing, and as you guys know, I don't share a lot of River, and that's been a very considered decision on my front. I know a lot of you ask constantly about why, and some of you get very frustrated about it, but it's just something I felt personally very strongly about. I felt very protective of her, and not like I wanted to share a huge amount. I did actually share a photo of her, a more recent photo, over on my Instagram if you haven't seen that already and you're like, what does your baby actually look like? I know a lot of you get frustrated about it, but you know, it's a personal choice that I kind of ask you guys to respect, if that's all right. But yeah, so I was very protective of her, especially in the early days. A little bit less so now, but still, like, I don't want her in my videos all the time. I don't mind like the back of her head and like showing you bits of our day and stuff, but I don't want her to be like the focus of videos, even though I'm talking about her stuff. Anyway, if you guys disagree with it, please feel free to not watch my baby content, because it's not going to change. She's obviously the most important thing in my life now, so and that's how I feel about her. So anyway, also apologise if there's any scratching, sniffing, crying, whining. It's great timing, Riv. I've got Squidge on the bed behind me. I've got, if you can see her, I've got Piglet on the sofa next to me, and I've got River on the floor next to me, surrounded by toys. So hopefully she's going to be quiet. I also have a list of topics to talk about, because my first thing that I'm going to talk about in the 6 months since having a baby is that baby brain is real. I'm pretty sure it's just because you have so much more to think about in your life. Like, you don't just worry about your own stuff and like remembering everything for you. You've got the baby to think of, and like a lot of the time I'm thinking, when does she need feeding, when does she need changing, when does she need this, that and the other, when does she have bath time, this and that, who's going to be looking after her if I can't, like if I have to go to the doctors, am I going to take her with me, or am I going to leave her with my mum, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, Ribs, yeah. So baby brain is definitely real, and it's something that I definitely have suffered with. In terms of like me and how I'm feeling, I'd say now I'm pretty much back to normal in terms of like feeling kind of myself. There's no weird crazy stuff going on. I'm not breastfeeding anymore. I stopped breastfeeding at about 3.5 months. And that's something that I was also scared to talk about, because I mentioned it in a vlog and a lot of people said, oh, can you talk more about it? And that's another reason, like, because I stopped breastfeeding earlier than like is kind of recommended, or than a lot of people do. There's a lot of like very strong opinions on breastfeeding. There's a lot of people who are quite scary on the internet about it, in terms of like I was scared of being really judged by a lot of people, and I didn't want a lot of people having their opinion on that. The reason why I stopped breastfeeding was I found it really hard time-wise and emotionally for me. I went back and started working again. I like threw myself into it at about a month in, so I took a month off to 6 weeks off, but basically a month, and then I started working again. After about 6 weeks to 2 months, I just threw myself straight back into work, and I found it really hard to balance breastfeeding and working that early on. and to the point where I was like pumping late at night so that I'd have enough feed if I had to leave her for a few hours to do filming or whatever. It was driving me bananas. I was like falling asleep with the breast pump, trying to like make sure she had enough milk and all of that kind of stuff, and it was just making me miserable, to be honest. She'd always had a little bit of formula since she was first born, because my milk took a while to come in because I had a section. It took a little bit longer, so she had formula a little bit then, and then I wasn't producing enough milk for a few weeks and she was losing weight, so she always had like top-ups. So she wasn't bothered at all by bottles because she had express milk a lot anyway, and she wasn't bothered by formula, so the transition was actually super easy, and it just made everything so much easier. It's such a hot topic, I don't really want to talk much more about it, but that's what worked for us. But I was very scared because of all the judgment that you get around it. In terms of the rest of my body, so I stopped breastfeeding. Definitely boobs are a bit more saggy, the belly is a bit more saggy than before. I've still got a little bit of weight to lose, which I'm okay with. The weight loss thing has been actually pretty slow for me. I started working out 3 times a week, 6 weeks in, and for me that helped me not so much in terms of weight loss, but in terms of kind of my mental health and being happy. Like working out is really, really good for that, and like for me staying really positive. So that I started working out then, but I didn't necessarily address my diet until I started to feel a little bit more in control of timings and like I was getting enough sleep and things like that. So I still have about half a stone to lose. I've lost about 5 pounds, well obviously like more since I had her, but when my weight kind of plateaued a couple of months after having her, I had about a stone to lose basically, so I'm kind of getting there, and that's fine. I'm quite happy with that. I am back in most of my clothes, so everything except my jeans, which I used to wear very tight jeans anyway, so I feel like I'm kind of okay with that at this point. I would love to get back in them in a few months time, and it's something at the moment like I am working on. I'm like eating quite a structured diet, so I plan out my meals and I like keep a food diary. I actually use MyFitnessPal, which is, I find it's really good for kind of making you consider everything that you eat, so that you know that you're getting what you need for that day and you're not overeating and you're not kind of just having unnecessary like treats and then not thinking about it, if you know what I mean. It makes you like consider what you're putting into your body, and for me that's worked. I tried the 5-2 diet for a few weeks and I didn't notice any difference, and I found it really hard to do those fast days, so I stopped that. And so yeah, that's where I'm at kind of weight wise and stuff, but it's not a huge consideration. Like I'm happy. Like I find it really hard because weight loss after pregnancy is so personal. So many people take a year or more to lose the weight, and that's fine. Other people are back in their jeans like a few weeks after. I do get a little bit upset sometimes when I see, like I saw a blogger a couple of weeks ago posting about fitting in her jeans. I'm not going to say who it is, a lot of you guys probably know if you follow her, but she was saying about getting into her jeans like 3 weeks after being pregnant, and that just made me feel so shit. Like good for her, but I think there's a time and a place for like kind of bragging about that, and it's not on the internet when lots of other mums follow you. Like yeah, so everyone is different, and that's fine. I'm kind of okay with my like kind of weight loss journey, even though I'm not back in my jeans yet 6 months in, but no, that is normal. Don't let anyone like make you feel that you should be back in your jeans 3 weeks in. Some people are just very lucky in that respect, others not so much, so it's fine. One thing I have noticed, my hair has definitely been falling out. I've got the like little bald patches here. It's not been too bad. It started to like regrow. I feel like I've had that later than a lot of people that I've spoken to, because I noticed this happen, like starting to happen quite badly about a month ago, so like 5 months in, and I'm starting to get a little bit of regrowth there, but I'm still losing a lot of hair. Like every couple of days I'll be emptying my hairbrush out and there'll be like a wad of hair in it. Yeah, so that's definitely a thing. What else have I got to talk about? My scar. So I had a C-section, as I've mentioned quite a lot before. My scar has healed pretty well. It's definitely still red. It's quite, I'm not going to show it to you because it's literally like in my bikini line, like underneath my knickers. So it's about that big, and it is red still. So that will should diminish over time, the redness, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty neat and it's pretty small. I have to say it doesn't really bother me too much. My stretch marks, I'm not going to show you in this video, I'm still quite like self-conscious about that kind of thing. Like but I always was. Like I never would have shown my belly before I got pregnant. I never would have shown my belly. Even when I got pregnant, I was like, I'm not going to show my pregnant belly. And then I started showing it. I just guess you feel different. But my stretch marks have actually got better. And I don't think it's thanks to any particular cream. I used Bioil for like the first 3 months, and then I kind of just gave up. I noticed a bit of an improvement. Oh, boo-boo, what's up? I noticed a bit of an improvement in that time. And then it kind of plateaued, and I kind of stopped using it, got a bit lazy with it. But they have definitely diminished. I've still got a little bit of the line down the middle. The one thing that I think does annoy me more than anything else is, and I mentioned this when I was pregnant, was the the belly button piercing issue. Is that the skin now around my belly button is kind of like a little saggy around the piercing, like it's a little thinner. And that's kind of annoying, but it's no big deal. Like I'm okay with that. And in terms, I'd say the main thing, like, for me, in terms of, like, what I have struggled with or what I'm struggling with now that I didn't in the beginning, it's quite weird, is the kind of lifestyle change. And I think early doors, everything was still so new, and you're still learning, and it takes up all of your head. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a new, exciting thing. That I didn't really struggle with it too much, but the last couple of months I've really struggled with the like work-life balance and mum guilt, and just getting that balance right and being motivated to work. Like I still want to work, I still want something to do, I still want to do YouTube, I still love YouTube, but she takes up so much of my time, and I want to be there all the time for her. I feel like it's such a normal like working mum dilemma. Like you want to be there all the time, but then you still want to work, and you still have to, you know, bring home the bacon and whatever. It's a tricky balance, and especially when you work for yourself and you work from home like I do, it's difficult to motivate yourself to work, because you don't have like those hours that you need to keep. You don't have a boss that's like breathing down your neck in terms of like, you know, what are you producing here? It's just very much like you are motivating yourself, and it's hard when she's here and she wants attention and she wants to be played with. It's so hard to motivate yourself. But yeah, so that's what I've struggled with. In terms of her, she is doing really well. She's 6 months and 2 weeks, I think, old now, probably nearly 3 weeks. She's one of the most chilled babies I've met, and everybody always comments on that. Like, she is very like mild-natured, and she's very inquisitive. She's constantly like looking at things and touching them, but she's quite delicate. She's very, very relaxed. She is not clingy to me. Like, she will happily go to lots of different people, which I actually think is probably due to the fact that like we always have quite a lot of friends and family around, and she's constantly being kind of passed around, and I've always been very relaxed about other people picking her up. Obviously not strangers, but like other people holding her, and like I always wanted that to be the way I kind of parented, and I don't know if it's like just her personality or whether that plays a part. I guess you'll never really know, but she's a very, very relaxed baby. She's just a joy to spend time with. She really is. She's really good company now. She, in terms of like her development, I've written a list because otherwise I would forget. Sleeping wise, she is sleeping through the night. She does wake up at about 5, anywhere between 4:30 and 6. She will wake up and she'll start like chatting, which obviously comes through on the monitor. If you guys can hear sheep right now, I think the farmer next door is feeding the sheep in the field, which is like the worst timing ever. I'm gonna have to shut the window. Now we're just gonna bake in this crazy hot room because I can't have the window open. Anyway, you can probably still hear the sheep. This is great, isn't it? In terms of sleep, like she will wake up at those times, but all she wants, she has this little piglet like comforter thing that she like snuggles up to her, and all you have to do is just go and give that to her back, because a lot of the time she'll go to sleep and then she'll like discard it, whatever. But she wakes up like early, and then wants that back. You just give it back to her and then it's fine, and you know, she'll go back to sleep until about 7:30, which is fine by me. Like, I don't mind that at all, because she could be up all night. She's always been a very, very good sleeper. There's only been a couple of nights where she's kept us up like a lot of the night, which I'm so thankful for, and I realise is not normal. Like, a lot of babies are difficult with sleeping, and she's never had a problem with reflux or colic or anything like that, so we've been very, very lucky in that respect. She moved to her own room, which is like next door to our room, at 6 months, pretty much exactly. Are you gonna chat now? Are you chatting? and that has been a great move for all of us. She loves it, we love it, everyone gets a whole lot more sleep. So that was happy days when she moved there. In terms of like napping in the day, she usually has 3 naps a day. So she will wake up at like 7:30, have a bottle. She usually comes into our room, and then I feed her in our bed a lot of the time, and then I'll put her in our bed or on our bed whilst I'm like tidying up the room. Michael will wake up and do some emails or whatever, so one of us will be like in the room with her, but she'll just like have a little snooze on our bed whilst we're like bumbling around, and kind of, obviously we don't leave her on her own in our bed. She's like sits next to Mike and has a snooze for probably half an hour, and then she'll get up with us, we'll give her breakfast, and then she has about an hour and a half kind of awake time and playing, and then she'll go down for a nap for about 40 minutes. Then she's awake for a while, then she has lunch, then she goes for another 45-minute nap, and then sometimes she'll have an afternoon nap, depending on how busy the day's been. And like if we've been out and about, you know, if we're like shopping or visiting people or whatever, and we get into the car, she'll always fall asleep in the car. She's like, all babies I think do that. But like if she has had a busy day, she'll then nap between probably like 4:30 and 5, and then she'll have her tea, and then have her bath time, and then she usually goes down to sleep at about 7:30-ish. So she is doing that like 12-hour, she does between 10 and 12-hour like chunk of sleep a night, bar that like 5:30 wake up where I just have to give her little piglet toy. But yeah, so she is, yeah, pretty much in that routine, and it's working for everyone, which is brilliant. She's on solid foods. We started feeding her solid foods at 5.5 months because she was trying to grab our food. She was like putting everything in her mouth. She was kind of really staring intently at our food, and you know, you can tell she was very interested in it, and she wanted to try some too. So we started off with a little bit of baby rice, and we just gave her that for breakfast for the first couple of weeks, and then at 6 months we moved her on to proper solids like purees. I know there's a lot of chat about baby led weaning, and I did a vlog a few weeks ago, and a lot of you were like, you guys should try baby led weaning. We do actually give her a few things, like we give her the like bigger things to hold and kind of suck on and stuff, but she does have purees, so I kind of do a little bit of a mixture, which seems to be working really well for her. Her favourite things by far, sweet potato. She's obsessed with sweet potato, loves it, and she loves butternut squash as well. She doesn't like leek. She really didn't like leek. I made some, and she, every time I tried to give it to her, which is like 3 or 4 times now, she's like, no, don't like it. Fair enough. She loves apple. She quite likes blueberries. I made her quite a lot of blueberry, and she's like, she's okay on it, but she doesn't love it. And she loves, something which I started giving her this week was yogurt, the baby yogurts, and you can actually buy them. We buy the ones that are mixed like with a little bit of fruit in them, so that they taste a little bit sweet. And they're by the Collective. And they come in like the pouches, so you can squeeze them straight into her mouth, so they're not that messy, and she absolutely loves them. And I've really been enjoying feeding her actually. She is quite a messy eater, especially if you're feeding her with a spoon. One thing I've found is good are the refillable, you know, like the Ella's Kitchen pouches that you buy. She does have okay, Mike has just got back from work, so he has now got little one and the dogs, so this should be a whole lot easier. So yeah, she loves yogurt, like absolutely loves it, and it's actually got to the point where now if I try and give her baby rice and some yogurt for breakfast, but she doesn't want the baby rice, she just wants yogurt. She's like obsessed with the yogurt, especially strawberry one. She doesn't have any teeth yet, 0 teeth, but she is sitting up on her own, and she's very, I think she'll crawl quite soon. I feel like she might crawl at about 8 months. She's quite keen to move about quite a lot of the time. I'm quite eager in terms of how I kind of look after and play with her. Obviously we have playtime and stuff, but I'm quite keen for her to learn to play on her own as well. So a lot of the time if I'm doing something around the room, or if I'm filming like this, she'll be on the floor with her toys, and she's getting to that point now where she's like, she can roll over and over and over and over, so she will like cross the room. You have to keep an eye on her, but she isn't like pushing her legs yet, but with her arms she's like fully up and like reaching for things, and like, I feel like she has that motivation to crawl, so I feel like she will probably be it's not that early, like, but I feel like she will be crawling around 8 months. That would be my guess if I was to guess anything. So yeah, she's getting a lot more like interactive and playing with all her toys, which is really nice. She, in terms of like what she looks like I said, I posted a more recent picture, but she's definitely got fairer. Like, she was born with very, very dark hair, which is very normal for them to be born dark and then get lighter. So I think she's going to be blonde like me. I don't think she's going to be like super white blonde, but I think she will be a kind of deeper blonde colour, and her eyes are still blue. So she was born with like navy blue eyes, and I thought it might be like a fake blue, like a lot of babies change their eye colour as they grow older. They haven't really changed. They maybe got a little bit more green. I have green eyes. Mike has brown eyes. Both of our mums have blue eyes. So I think maybe she will keep the blue eyes. I'm hoping she does, because they're really beautiful. It means that she really suits like wearing navy and things like that, because it like really brings out her eyes. She is weighing in at just over 8 kg, so she's gaining weight at the right kind of time. She's still on the, I think she's about just under the 75th percentile, which she's been her whole life. It means she's pretty much doubled in weight, and she is a little chubby monkey, and she's so cute. She's got those really chubby legs now as well. She's just moving out of or she's just moved out of 3 to 6 clothing, so she's in the 6 to 9 or 6 to 12, depending on which brand. Some brands do 6 to 12, some do 6 to 9, so she's like solidly in that kind of bracket. I'm still holding on to like a few of the bigger 3 to 6 things that I really love that she still fits into. I'm like, get a few more wears out of them. So sad packing away the clothes, so sad. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to update you guys on. She's just great company, if I'm honest. At the moment, it's such a really lovely age, because she's interactive and responsive to you, and gets excited and smiles and laughs, and is really fun to kind of interact with, but she's not mobile, so she's also quite easy to look after. You know, you can put her on the floor and you know that she's not going to move very far whilst you're on your laptop or whatever. You don't have to constantly be watching her, which is the phase that I'm kind of scared about, because you like, once they start moving, you're like constantly making sure they're not doing something they shouldn't be. So yeah, it's a lovely stage. I'm loving it, and I never thought I would be one of those people. Like, before I had her, obviously like I was pregnant for 9 months, so I was like, I did want to be a mum, but like I've always known I wanted children, but it was always something that was like, I couldn't imagine doing it soon. Like, I wasn't one of those people that's like, I love kids, I love spending time with kids. I don't really love children. Like, I'm not a natural with children, with playing and stuff. Like, with other people's children, I always found it kind of awkward, and like, I wasn't one of those people that you're like, oh, she'll be such a natural mum. But I feel like since I've had her, I've just loved every second of it, and it's very much been like, I've reacted to it in a way that I didn't think I would. Like, I thought I would be so like throwing myself back into work and be not like a bad mum, but like I thought I would want to work so much more than I do. And like, now when I have to work, it makes me sad because I'm not with her, and I didn't think I would feel like that. Like, I thought I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna work and leave her with Mike or leave her with my mom, or get childcare and things like that, but I just want to do everything with her, which is so nice. Like, I'm really glad, and I just love it. So yeah, that is everything from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and open the window now because I think the sheep have had their dinner. I can like see the field outside. They were like running in a horde, barring, oh, I don't know, either way, sheep are noisy, don't live next to them. It's the only advice I can give. It's super hot. I'm gonna go now because I've got to film another video, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.